Hi, welcome to Box on the Box Rock and Celluloid, Bot Brack for short. I'm over Box. So originally today I was going to share a ranking of the Judas Priest albums, and I have already done that, and I will do that next Friday. But I thought I would just get on the bandwagon a little bit and rank the Invincible Shield tracks today. I've noticed a few people have done this on different channels, and I thought, yeah, it's something I like to do. Obviously, I'm very pleased with the album. I'm now up to nearly my 20th listen. I think I'm on 19 listens, so I've got to know it very well. And just give sort of some secondary thoughts, really, in the initial review. I listened to it, I think it was about 8 times, something like that. So I've been able to sit with it more. Let's go through. I'll rank them from 14 to 1. So I'm going to include the bonus tracks. We'll have a little patter about what I think of the sort of format. But my number 14 choice, and this is the one track on the album where I'm kind of like, I don't feel that it needs this. Now, some people like it, and I can see why, because it's kind of direct and short and to the point. But I just think it doesn't have enough about it. It feels kind of like a half-developed song to me, and it's Vicious Circle. So this track, let's just have a look at it. It's 3 minutes and 1. Maybe this would have worked better in the final sort of running order of the album, somewhere in the middle. Putting as a bonus track when it comes in after we've had all the other tracks, it feels like it's a track I don't need. Nothing particularly stands out about it, although I do like some of Rob's lyrics are pretty cool. He just writes some cool lyrics on the album. So that's my number 14 choice. My number 13 choice is a track that's growing on me, but I feel it's like the sort of first kind of dip after the first few tracks in the album. It's Gates of Hell. I think this has got a nice sort of Rock Hard Ride 3 vibe. It could sort of fit on Point of Entry or Turbo or Defenders, maybe Screaming. I do like it. Again, some cool lyrics. So he mentions the Priest in there. Lovely guitar solo as well. It's just I don't kind of feel quite as strongly about this track as I do other ones. I'm not sure whether I would have left it off the album or yet or made it a bonus track. I'm decided. So a number 12 track, and it's getting quite difficult from here on, is Trial by Fire. I saw them play this live. It didn't work live to me. I always liked it when I first saw the video, and I do like it where it comes in the album. I think it's positioned well. Got really good timing, good feel on Rob's lyrics. It's a really good, Judas Priest album track. I don't think it's a great track, but it is good. Now, my number 11, this is a tricky one. This could be higher. I think it's a really, really good track. There is controversy about it. And it's The Lodger. I think this track, whatever format this album took, it can only come at the end. You can't put this track in the middle. It's just too out there on its own. But I don't really understand people's resistance to it. Some people I've read resist it, because Judas Priest have always experimented, and obviously Bob Halligan Jr. has kind of presented this track, and Priest have kind of seen something in it. I do like it. It's kind of keeping in with their creepy killers, the Spectre, the Ripper, but it's clearly based on the Hitchcock film The Lodger. The lyrics, if you know that film, is Hitchcock's first big silent film. I just really like the atmosphere it creates in this. I really like the vocal harmonies. I like Rob's vocals. Very unusual chord sequence. But like I say, you couldn't plonk this in the middle of the album. It can only come at the end as a kind of strange kind of afterthought. But I do like it. So my next track is Escape from Reality. I think I maybe like this track a little more, but after listening to the album the amount of times I have, I'm putting it at number 10. I like the riffing. I do like the verse, but I don't think the verse is as strong as the chorus. I think the chorus is really good, and the lyrics, agony, escape from reality, brings you down, is really clever. Intense ending. Just a really cool track. There's that weird bit where he sings like Ozzy in the middle, which I know some people might find strange. I just find that kind of quite interesting that Rob's done that. Next track is a track that's kind of got better for me, and it's Crown of Horns. When I first heard the single, the video, I was like, I'm not as into this as much. But again, when you hear it in the context of the album, after what you've had, it's track 6 on the album. I think the emotion of the song and Rob's vocals and the way it just drops down a bit works really well. Although I think the guitar intro is really cool, I'm not sure it needs it. I think they could maybe cut that. And there's maybe a couple of little trims here and there. Maybe they tighten it up. 5:45 seems quite long. But this is a grower, this track, and I do like it. You know, it's that thing with albums. You need album tracks. You need pace changes. Think of Caught in the Middle off Holy Diver. You know, it just comes at the right point. Not the best track, but it's good. Okay, gets difficult after this. So the next track I'm picking, number 8, is Giants in the Sky. I think this ends the standard release really well. I really like the lyrics. I like the emotion and sentiment of the lyrics. It's a fairly typical sort of Faulkner bluesy riff, you know, the kind of riff he does on Crossfire, or maybe Glenn did, or certainly on Elegant Weapons. But I like that intense chugging on the verse, and then the chorus is good. It's got a lovely kind of flamenco inspired bit in the middle, and then you get that really cool ending with Rob doing a scream. Obviously Rob's been friends with Dio, he's been friends with Lemmy, amongst other people, so there's a real kind of poignancy to these lyrics. So I really like this track. How long's that? 503. Yeah, it works. So my number 7 choice will be controversial, but I think this should have been in the main release. I think it should have been quite early on in, along with Serpent and the King and Invincible Shield, because I feel it's got like a Killing Machine Stained Class style riff in its Fight for Your Life. I really like the riff on it, the way it's mirroring, you know, the track like Killing Machine. I like Rob's vocals and the chunky F sharp riffing on the verse. Someone said in his review, I think it was Jason Arnott, said, "Oh, it's not very, you know, original. The riffing on that, it's kind of like March of the Damned or the End of Metal Gods," but I think it works well. But the chorus is cracking, and it's got one of the better guitar solos at the end of the album. I think the guitar solos, up to Crown of Horns, the guitar solos are really exceptional, and then they're still good after that, but they're kind of less memorable. But then this solo, he does some really cool stuff in it, Richie. So I really like this track. I like the vocals, the melody at the end. I just like how it sits. It's a track that could have gone earlier in the album. Like I said, maybe it'll change, but that's my number 7 choice. My number 6 choice is As God Is My Witness. Really fast, intense track. In a way, I'm surprised I don't have this higher. I think it's great. It's maybe compared to something like Hard as Iron, which I think is clearly a track that it pays homage to. You know, something like that's better to me. It's got a better lead break, amazing chorus. Obviously Leather Rebel's another track that mirrors this, but I think this is probably better than Leather Rebel. But it's really good. It's good to hear this kind of fast 16th note riffing back in the Priesthood, which I haven't done for a long time. And that seems to be a real fan favourite. So again, my number 5 choice, again, this could be controversial, but I just think this is instant. Sometimes simplicity, beans on toast, you know, sausage and mash. You can't go wrong in this. Sons of Thunder. A lot of people compare this, it's quite acceptish. And it's got that unusual thing where he's got the chant, Sons of Thunder, which priests don't normally do. You'd have to go back to something like Devil's Child. Eat my diamonds, eat my diamonds. But I just think this is such a lot of fun. It just crunches along. Let's ride all night. It's great. The second I first heard this track, I was just like, it was just instantly there for me. And his tune is 58, and it just, you know, it just blasts through, and albums always benefit from tracks like this. Okay, my number 4 choice is Panic Attack. The track needs no introduction. This is the track that kind of unleashed what this album might be like. Great riffing, cool lyrics, great solos. You know, really good. Like I said, this is when it could have been high. Maybe it could slip a bit down. I don't know, but it's a great track. So again, my number 3 choice might be controversial. Maybe there's, I don't know how much love there is out there. I think we really like this track, but whether they'd have it this high or not, I don't know. My mind's Devil in Disguise. This is just a kind of Priest track. I really like, for track 4 on an album, you know, like the Bloodstone tempo. You know, love Halford's lyrics on this. He's clearly got the thesaurus out. He uses the word peck-sniffian. And I looked that up and I can't remember what it means, but it's kind of feigning, not sympathy, but anyway, look it up. There's various other word entanglements he comes up with it. The great guitar solo on this, maybe my favourite guitar solo on this, I'm on my second favourite. Really good. So number 2 and number 1, you know what they are, it's just the order they're in. Number 2, Serpent and the King. first second heard this track was just like, this is fucking amazing. Half sounds amazing. It's got top traditional Priest riffing, great solo, top harmony at the end, just total power. There's not really a lot you can say about this king. Again, I think the lyrics are pretty cool. Just great. And my number one choice is the title track, Invincible Shield, the longest track on the album, 6:21. What I love about this track, it's got those elements of Servant of the King, but it kind of stretches out. There's that brilliant solo that Faulkner pulls off, where he kind of trades off of himself. I'll give you a little theory on the solo. So I don't think Glenn plays any solos on his own, but there's quite a few bits where Richie's almost mimicking. He is mimicking what Glenn does. He does things with a whammy, and he's an arpeggio shape. What's called the diminished 7 arpeggio that's favoured by Tipton. My theory is Glenn may have cut some lead break ideas on this. Due to his physical impairment, he couldn't execute these to the standard they needed to be, but he could still write a guitar solo. And I think Richie may have learned these or taken some elements of those, and then when he's trading off himself, it's like he's taken sort of Glenn's sketch and made it into something. I could be wrong, but that's something. If you listen on the album, there's quite a lot of like Richie trading off of himself. So yeah, Invincible Shield. That's what he's doing on this, and then it's got that great melodic bit of guitar and then that amazing harmony at the end, which sounds great live. This was the one track off the new album. They will probably play this track again and again. This is an instant classic. It's already one of the great Judas Priest tracks. It's brilliant. So just overview of the album. My feeling is I don't need Vicious Circle. I think this could have been a 12 or a 13 track album. I would lose Vicious Circle. Maybe I'd lose Gates of Hell, or I'd have Gates of Hell and Vicious Circle as the bonus tracks, but I certainly have moved Fight for Your Life up into the first 5 or 6 tracks, or maybe even 3, you know, balancing it with those Killing Machine, staying classic artists. I would have opened with Invincible Shield, maybe Invincible Shield into Devil in Disguise, then do Servant of the King, going to Fight for Your Life, something like that. But again, people will disagree, you know, maybe, but Panic Attack's a cool opener. I don't know, it's so hard. But yeah, I think, you know, this could have been a winner. But it's still a 9 out of 10, and you'll find out where it is in my ranking next week. So thanks for checking this out. Remember to share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye.